Welcome back to my channel, Healing with Kearra. So it's a new month, October. Today is 0110. It's kind of like a huge angel number for me, 1001. It's like kind of funny when I see that time. So we're going to look into October's energy with a pick a card reading. So 3 piles, as you can see. Pile 1 using the Hidden Light Tarot. Pile 2 using the Modern Witch Tarot. And pile 3 just using the regular Rider Waite Smith tarot. I think it's what it's called. Probably wrong and sound dumb. Anyways, yeah, so if you need another minute, you can pause it. But like I always say, just go with the very first thing that catches your eye. However this video finds you, definitely don't overthink it. And the timestamps will always be in the description box. So looking into October's energy. What messages do we need right now for pile 1? So the 3 of Swords on the bottom here. So pile 1 already, you've been going through something very painful throughout this summer retrograde season. It's like a lot of stuff could have happened that really impacted you emotionally. You've been through a lot of pretty devastating stuff here. It's like things that were once very emotionally satisfying. Could be in regards to the relationships in your life, but like doesn't have to be romantic. It could be like many of the relationships, kind of like a all around full spectrum, like going through kind of a lot of pain and chaos with a lot of different people in your life, like a lot of different types of relationships. Like it could be your partners, but then also like your family and friends or people around you. It's like it feels like from all sides things are just like changing in a way that you don't have any control of, and it's very hurtful, or again it's impacting you emotionally here. It's creating a lot of heaviness. It's a lot of change happening all at once, and it's not that you're resisting it, it's just that it's very, very hurtful. You may be having to release certain people or certain like aspects or certain phases. Like you could feel like you're outgrowing certain people around you, and so you're having to release like certain phases of your life, and this is bringing up a lot of emotions. You also could feel kind of like split or divided, like you're being kind of torn in half, or you're having to make a lot of really tough decisions all at once. Is creating a lot of change, and it brings up this feeling of like, can I handle this? Is this right? It's like you're kind of torn. Yeah, it's like the changes that you know you have to make. It's very painful to have to come to those realizations and then actually implement the action that you can kind of feel would be best for you in regards to some of the relationships in your life. So it's just been like a really overall just a tough time. This card here kept kind of like going back and forth between whether it wanted to be in reverse or not, and it ultimately ended up in reverse. That's the Seven of Swords. So it's like you keep going back and forth as far as like, am I hurting others? Am I the one in the wrong? Am I being like deceitful? Or yeah, am I impacting others in a negative way? But it's like then you flip back to, okay, no, I'm not doing anything wrong. Like this is what's best for me. It's healthy to set boundaries. It's normal to like change. If other people aren't able to change with you or see you where you're at, meet you on your level, then distance is like could be what's good for you. And it's not your intentions to like hurt others or to create like divisions, and so you're kind of conflicted, but you ultimately come to the conclusion that this is what's best for you and that you're not necessarily in the wrong, in the sense that you don't have any ill will in your heart towards these people. It's like you're just doing what's best for you or trying to continue forward on your path in the best way. But it's like, because it's kept going back and forth, I feel like that's like an inner struggle that you're having, where you kind of go back and forth like, is this the right thing, or am I the one hurting others? But spirit is wanting to confirm to you that um, you don't have bad intentions, or like your heart is in the right place. Even though you're very divided on this, or you've went really like back and forth and it's been really tough, it's like this ultimately is going to be the best thing for you and others around you. um, the Four of Wands, it's like it could be in regards to relationships that for a long time or at one time you felt was like a very secure partnership, or you've had a lot of confidence that that other side or the other party was choosing you in the same way that you were choosing them. And then this happened, or it's like that's why you were so back and forth in regards to, is this the right thing, or am I just hurting others, or am I doing what's best for me? And it's like ultimately you came to the conclusion that like the way that things are hurts you or impacts you, so you have to do what's best for you. But again, it's like you don't have ill will towards these people. It's like you really cared for them, or at one point they were a really solid part of your foundation, and so there's a lot of respect there. But it's like it's too painful for you, or it hurts you too much for things to continue on the way that they are. It's like you're having to do like what's best for yourself. um, we have the Queen of Wands and the Hermit. So you could be being drawn into kind of like a period of isolation, or a period of drawing within yourself to kind of do some inner work, or learn how to be your own navigator, be your own compass, and kind of follow your own light. With this Queen of Wands, there could have been like a karmic person around you specifically who had a lot of control over like the direction that you went or the way you moved, how you grew. And it's like no longer giving that same person, and that could be representing like the 10 of Cups, a lot of different relationships in your life, where there could have been like one specific karmic person, and then it was through this relationship it gave you more awareness to then be able to see and recognize like other relationships in your life that weren't as healthy. So now you're having to make a lot of changes that are very difficult and painful, because it's like you really cared for these people, but it's like having to set boundaries or almost kind of like take your power back from people who could have been using your power against you in order to, or using their own power against you, or using like the care that you had for them against you in order to hold power over you. Using your passions against you. It's like you were almost too vulnerable to letting other people come in and take advantage of you, impact your energy in some way. So now you're being called into this period of isolation to kind of go within and heal and take your power back from, anyone who was like subtly wanting to control the direction that you went in so they could keep you in a position where they have that power over you, so they always have some sort of access to you in order to take advantage of you in some way, or like emotionally, even if it's not something they're consciously doing. It's like over time you like picked up on this and recognized like something wasn't quite right in some of these relationships, or in one relationship in particular. um, so it's like you're being called into this period of isolation. So this could have all kind of came up throughout like September, or it could have been building throughout the summer. And so now you're being called into isolation, or to make these certain shifts, or it's like you've already been called into isolation and to make these certain shifts, or to have a healthy distance from certain people around you at the least, no matter how difficult it is. And so it's like you already kind of stepped into this, and Spirit is confirming that um, you're doing the right thing. You're on track to kind of go within yourself and find that healing, and learn how to move in such a way that empowers you and gives back to you, and yeah, is most like healthy and beneficial for you. uh so yeah, so that could have already happened. So this could be just like a confirmation from Spirit, if you will, that you're on the right path, and that this is this time period, even though it's very difficult and uncomfortable, it's going to be, you know, what ultimately allows you to take your power back in certain situations. Or it's like this is about to happen, and this is all about to kind of like transpire and come to a head, to where it becomes really obvious to you that you've made yourself vulnerable to um, letting certain people come in and take advantage of you in certain ways. And so you kind of follow your heart through all of the emotions that the situation brings, and it leads you to a period of kind of isolating in order to heal and recover. And yeah, Spirit is just like confirming to you here that it's like you didn't deserve to go through whatever happened here. You only had like the best intentions for others. So then moving forward, like doing what you need to do to heal yourself from this situation is not like selfish of you or wrong. You're allowed to like do what you need to do in order to like protect yourself and heal from this moving forward. Certain things come in and like, yeah, sometimes people will be like, oh, you've changed. And those are usually the people who are upset, because they can then no longer have the same access to you, or yeah, like take advantage of you in the same ways. And so it's like, yeah, we're supposed to change and grow. And um, the only people who are going to be like upset with your boundaries are the people that really need them. Um, so we have some zodiac signs. So we have Leo, the Strength card on the bottom, so fire signs. Leo particularly. Three of Fire, Sun in Aries. So more fire signs. And the Five of Earth, Mercury in Taurus. So Leo, Aries, and Taurus. So this person here could be a fire sign, and you could be an earth sign. This person could have Leo and Aries, and you could be Taurus. Or it's like you're kind of, yeah, there's something here where it's like, it's almost like too much fire energy. Can almost like conflict with you, or cause, it's either you have a lot of fire energy and so it almost causes other people to run away, or you're drawn towards people with a lot of fire, but then it like causes you to kind of run away. So yeah, maybe someone who has more like earth energy could help ground you, and or it's like you wouldn't be as intimidated, or it maybe in the past like more like boring practical relationships weren't as exhilarating or exciting, but then you're learning that chasing after people who are emotionally unavailable is like not good for you, so you have to kind of go within to heal something here in order to break um, this cycle or pattern that you've been in your relationships, and become a little bit more grounded, or call in something more practical in order to help you heal. Cornucopia, prosperity. The earth is plentiful and is reminding you to trust money will flow. Enjoy the fruits of your labor by releasing any fear mindset that blocks abundance. Your value in yourself is the best currency. Serendipity, fate. The stars are aligned as everything comes together in perfect timing. The signs you are receiving are accurate and telling you to move forward. Expect positive and fruitious outcomes with relationships and careers. So let's get some advice from Spirit. So we have chaos and journey. The advice is begin and focus on the details. So it's like it's going to be really chaotic no matter what. Like you can't let this sense of like perfectionism almost like hold you back from starting, or being scared to put yourself out there in some way. It's like you will learn along the journey as long as you focus on the minor details here, but it's like you have to have the courage or confidence to begin or start somewhere, and just like put yourself out there no matter how chaotic it feels. Um, but you'll kind of know whenever the time is right to kind of come out of this like hermit mode that you've been in, or that you're calling to come into, or the it begin could be in regards to like going within and doing the inner work or the shadow work to heal certain things, can be really scary. So sometimes we kind of resist making those bigger changes in our life that force us to like follow through with that. And so it's like you have to start somewhere, even though it's really chaotic and overwhelming. It's You'll learn and grow along the journey and be really thankful, just to have put yourself out there and tried something different and new. And it's really rewarding once you're called to come out of that period of going within to kind of heal and find answers for yourself, and as far as which direction to go in and what's best for you, and how to kind of make those choices and decisions on your own without anyone else in your energy affecting you or the way that you move and operate. So ascension. You have unlimited possibilities and abundance. So I'll read both of those for you to end the reading. Some of those following a spiritual path have ascension as the ultimate goal. However, ascension portrayed in art and literature is a great leap into instant nirvana, is actually a giant work of, well, art and fiction. Rather, ascension is the process of conscious living. We are all spiritual beings. We are all souls in a human body who are living life on this earth in order to learn and grow at the soul's level. That is being spiritual. Whether you are conscious of it or not, you are walking towards ascension. Each experience, relationship, obstacle, joy, creation will bring you one step closer on the ladder to where we all end, with a greater awareness of ourselves than we started out with. This situation, at its best, is a running on the ladder of your soul's path towards ascension. The situation you are inquiring about is assisting you on this ladder. Work it at the bigger picture and know you are better than any issue or problems you may have. So that's definitely one thing that stops us or holds us back from going within to do that shadow work, is because we really do think that there's just some point where we're going to ascend past all of that stuff, and it's not as commonly uh, like explained to people, or I guess it's not something that people talk about as much, is that yeah, a part of the journey is kind of taking that time out to go within, and it can seem really overwhelming to start that process, because it's like you want to think that you can just like do it and then it's over with and then you're ready to ascend, but it's like this cyclical thing that we're doing throughout the course of our whole life, and it's like step by step, bit by bit, like as much as we can handle, and like at different stages of our journey we have different perspectives, and so we sometimes revisit things and re-heal them, and it's this very cyclical like process of returning, and it's not this linear thing where it's like you do it and you deal with it and then now you're a spiritual person and now you don't have any problems, or um so yeah, it can be really overwhelming once you see the journey for what it is. Yeah, it can be really overwhelming to want to like start that process. I feel like that's why the um, begin and focus on the details are coming out for you. It's like instead of focusing on the whole, that can get really overwhelming. And so just taking it bit by bit, focusing on the details and the little things that are within your control in that time, in that moment, is just a good way to like start somewhere and kind of grow from there. So abundance takes on many forms: material possessions, friendships, excellent health, emotional stability, unique experiences. When you lock yourself into a narrow view on what defines abundance, you lose out on a whole picture of what it could mean. Open yourself up as many forms of wealth and abundance are possible and watch your blessings multiply. Always remember that focusing on what you do not have is a surefire way to feel the energy and make that your truth. Every day, watch for signs of abundance from the universe. Acknowledge and be thankful, thus encouraging and continuing flow of energy. Remember, the universe will always provide you with what you need. So that's also kind of why Mercury and Taurus is coming through. So a lot of what this is saying is what that placement would speak to, is like having that mental security or that state of mind that you are taken care of. You do have what you need. It's like you don't need anybody else in order to know how you feel or to be able to make healthy, solid choices and decisions for yourself. When fall turns to winter, the leaves fall from trees, birds fly south, plants go dormant, some even die, having lived the life they were meant to. Do we ever panic and wallow in fear that this is it? There will never be another robin singing. There will never be another ripe tomato. No, we don't. Why is that? We know that after winter, spring will return, followed by the bounty of summer. It is so in your life. At any given time, there are unlimited possibilities for you and yours, many different paths to take, and many different options available. Do not get bogged down into thinking in a linear fashion. Open your eyes and your heart and feel the power your free will and choice brings to you. Make your life what it is meant to be. So, yeah, that's all I have for pile one. Looking into October. So, if you watch this far into the reading, thank you. I really appreciate it. If you would like a more personal reading with me, you can use the link in my description. But I hope you have a really great day. Oh, anyone who's still here, this makes a lot of sense. Your bottom of the deck energy. Pile 2, looking into October. So we have the Eight of Pentacles. So you, in this pile, you could have been working very hard and very diligently. So it could have been really difficult here, since I said that on accident. But I just saw like focusing on the minor details, very diligently putting your energy into something and trying to build something here. So we have the Fool. So it's like this month could be time for you to take it to the next level, get something off the ground. This could be confirmation that you're stepping into something new, some sort of new opportunity is going to come to you as a result of how hard you've been working, how much you've put into this. But you could have been in this period of working and building for a long time, so it could have been difficult, like I said. So it's like when some sort of new opportunity comes in, you're going to be really hesitant, and you're not going to know if it's like fully fair. With the Six of Pentacles, there's always like an inequity, but it's, since this is the bottom of the deck energy, it's like this is just where you're coming from. Like there's going to be something about it where you're not sure if you can trust it, so you're going to have your guard up. Two of Cups. It's like someone is walking away from something else in order to give you an opportunity, or someone's like creating a space to connect with you or work with you. So because of the way that it happens, it's like there's going to be a lot to it where you can't see it from your perspective. You're going to feel like you don't understand this person's underlying intentions of like why they suddenly created this space, or like walked away from something else in order to like work with you or connect with you. You're not going to be able to see like why this is happening, or you're going to feel like you don't have the full picture, so you're not sure if it's like a fair deal or if you're being taken advantage of. So it's like you're going to be hesitant at first and kind of have your guard up. You could also have this energy of like, I've worked on this really, really hard for a very long time. You feel like you put so much into this, and it's like you grew as a person, so you don't want to like just give it away to the wrong person or like get started with the wrong person. So yeah, it's like you're not just going to jump into the first opportunity that comes along. You're going to be like hesitant and kind of have your guard up as to like, why does this person want me? Why are they choosing me? Why me? Why now? Why are they so enthusiastic? It's like if they're overly enthusiastic or jazzed up, that's going to be like something that makes you more hesitant or like a red flag. Um, so let's look. So we have the Lovers and the Ace of Cups. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Um, so again, someone is making like a strong choice in order to come forward and present something to you. So it could be in regards to work or it could be in regards to a relationship, and you feel like you've done a lot of work on yourself and you've come really far. And so you're not willing to just like give yourself away to others that are super enthusiastic about you like for no reason, or you don't just like go for it right away, you're like more hesitant. Or it could be someone who specifically like left someone else or broke up with someone else in order to move towards you, so you're like, what are your intentions, like what's your deal, like. But it's this energy to where you've worked really hard on yourself, so maybe in the past you would have went for that, but now you're like hesitant and wanting to know more about their underlying intentions as to why they did this. But yeah, it could be like a work situation too. um, yeah, with the Ace of Cups, it's like some sort of new emotional opportunity based off of another person's like choices, but to you it feels like it's really sudden and out of nowhere. You're like, why is this happening? I don't understand. Um, and then it's like twofold message here, to where it's like also because of this new opportunity being presented towards you, then you are left to make some sort of choice or decision. And so you're almost like asking spirit and looking to spirit to be like, okay, is this the right choice for me? Is this a good choice for me? Like, what is this person's intentions? Because you don't know. It's like you're not just going to jump into whatever opportunity comes towards you at this point. You're going to like take a second and check to make sure that it's right for you or in alignment for you. Like you're going to take it back to God in a sense, especially if you have like some sort of weird thing come up, like you may have went through something to where you um it's like because you've worked on yourself so much or you've grown so much, now your intuition is developed a lot. And so in this situation in particular, there may not be anything super solid to give you any sort of red flags, other than the fact that like they suddenly walked away from something else to come towards you, which maybe seems like a good thing on paper, but it's your intuition, right? And so because you've really been working on yourself to build that, so something is calling you to kind of listen to that or focus on that, and just causing you to take a second and kind of take it back to God and double check the intentions or if it's right for you. And spirit is wanting to confirm to you in this reading that you have grown really a lot. You've come really far from where you once were, and you're making really healthy, well-informed choices for yourself now, and you had an appropriate response or reaction to the situation. So we have the Five of Wands. So, even though this person's coming towards you and making it seem as though there's like a solid emotional offer, or like they're wanting to choose you, or like they walked away from something else in order to choose you, it's like it doesn't seem quite right, or it seems too good to be true, or something seems off. And it's like there is more competition in the situation, or the situation is going to put you in competition and in conflict, which is like really unnecessary for you. Or like once you go through this conflict, it's like this person's not going to choose you anyways, or there is something bad about this person's intentions. If you feel like they just came out of nowhere and were interested in you and wanted to choose you, and like they just walked away from something else and they just want you, and your intuition's coming up to be like, I don't know about this, they could literally just be using you to make this other person jealous, or to put you in conflict, or to create some sort of conflict, or to put you in competition with the other person, to create competition for the other person, to get an emotional reaction out of them, to see if they care, to see if the other person will fight for them. um, but it's like they don't have genuine intentions to choose you in the end. It's like going to leave you, they're not considering your feelings in the situation. It's like, yeah, it really could be about, it's not like they're intentionally wanting to put you in competition or put you in conflict in your life, but it's like about the other person or the other thing that they walked away from with the 8 of Cups. um some sort of game they're playing with that in order to make it seem like they're presenting you or giving you this really genuine choice in order to like yeah, stir up the other person. But because you've worked so hard on yourself and come so far, it's like instantly something about their energy is going to be like, that's a red flag, or that doesn't seem quite right. And it's like your intuition is acting in such a way right now to come up and um serve you, help preserve your heart from getting really hurt in the situation. It's like you've grown a lot, you've leveled up past the point of needing to go through experiences like this or learn lessons like this. And so that's why we have our intuition to step in and be that tool to help guide us and protect us. And then also being able to fall back on spirit and check and see, like, is this right for me? Is this in alignment with me? So you could be waiting for a more higher level, like, yeah, just a serious, more higher level type of commitment. And so you've chosen to like draw within and do a lot of intense work on yourself. You're really trying to fine tune yourself, or you're building something for your life that's super sustainable and long lasting in order to be able to give back to yourself or someone else or a family or something in the future. It's like you have really long term goals. You take your life really seriously. You're very responsible. You could be like working on your own business and you want to like get it out there, put it out there. So someone else just sees you as like a good opportunity or a good choice in order to create conflict or to try to stir someone else up, make other people jealous, even if it's not the particular person that they walked away from. It's like in order to make other people around them or around you jealous. So it could be just like they see that you get a lot of attention, or they see you have a lot to offer. So then they want to make like other people around you that they think would be interested in you jealous. So then they don't choose you. Or it's like they want you to be like unavailable or off the market. Um, but then if like some sort of new competition came in, then they would like go for that and like not choose you or something. It's like the way that they're going about it to like almost put on a show and like kind of put things out there. Yeah, is just to like get attention and see if like they could get any, like they would, yeah, they would totally go for someone else. If someone else were to like throw themselves into the situation as competition, they would totally go for that and like not choose you. Something very shady here. So yeah, your intention is like, or your intuition is totally right about their intentions. Yeah, spirit is confirming to you here that it's like you don't need to learn this lesson again. You were right about whatever you feel. So October could be about like kind of setting firm boundaries, or it's like this is happening as like a test to help confirm to you, or it's like something to help kind of like strengthen your intuition, if that makes sense. So yeah, you can be like more confident the next time around that it's like whatever you're thinking or feeling about the situation is true, is correct. So we have Gemini with the Lovers. So the Lovers twice. So it's definitely all about choices here. Or someone's trying to get you to make certain choices that benefit them. Or they could be trying to like, one of their biggest red flags could be that they're trying to make you feel like it's your idea, or that you were the one pursuing them whenever they kind of came out of nowhere and were interested in you. So you're like, why are you always trying to flip stuff? And that's just like a red flag based off of another relationship that you've been in. It's like, um, you're seeing something in the situation reflected back into you that is like reflecting your past or dynamics that you put up with or that you've went through in your past. And now that you've worked so hard on yourself and you've come so far, it's like you're not willing to settle or to like just go for that, like jump all in and be like jazzed up about that. It's like you see it more for what it is, and you're going to take a second or a time out to like dig deeper into it and really fill out, like get confirmation from spirit, like one way or the other, yeah, whether it's like right for you. We have the Ace of Air, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So yeah, definitely all air signs in this pile, which makes a lot of sense because like, yeah, there's like a lot of like mental games going on here, but then being an air sign, like maybe throughout your younger years, you kind of went through that where people played like mental games with you. So now you're very like adapt, or you're very good at like picking this things up or like reading people, if you will. So it's like this energy to where you can kind of see through this person and this offer for what it is. So they could be an air sign or you, but either way, there's definitely heavy air sign energy, Gemini in particular. But it's like you're too smart for the tricks, for like the trickery. Yeah, like Mercury's coming through for sure. Gemini and Virgo. Mercury energy. Tree wisdom. Embody. Nature can heal when you integrate with the rhythm of the earth. Trees help to remind you to be more like nature intended. Get rooted in a support system, be flexible, branch off in many directions, and embrace the seasons of change. Use the trees as an example of how to live. I'm definitely getting Virgo from like this too, like just it's like focusing on your health, focusing on the details. Like it's like it could be hesitant of this because you're like, oh well, I've come so far and I've worked on myself so much, and that could like implement, or that could detriment my self-care, or like working on my self journey. So it's like very smart here. Yeah, very smart people in pile 2 here. Rainbow Bridge, hope. Loved ones that have crossed over are sending you a message of love and strength. Grieving a person, pet, or situation is difficult to move through. Honor your healing process and with patience, and be surrounded by support and love. Yeah, so I'm definitely sending love to anyone if you are grieving anyone, or someone could be coming over from the other side to confirm to you your intuition as well. So that could be confirmation. If you do have like a loved one that you connect with on the other side. So we have express your feelings with the C, and then Nova, which the Nova's advice is be humble, but it's in the reverse. So Spirit is saying express your feelings and don't worry about being humble, basically. Not necessarily like, yeah, don't like put your ego out there, let your ego shine or act crazy, but it's like humility could be one of your strengths. Is not what's being called for at this time. Is being called more to have like fierce boundaries. So the C is a great example of that, like unapologetic feelings. I don't know how else to phrase that, but unapologetic emotion, right? There's no reining that in, but it's necessary. Okay. Too many, Spirit. So unlimited possibilities. And it's all good. When fall turns to winter, the leaves fall from the trees, birds fly south, plants go dormant, some even die having lived the life they were meant to. Do we ever panic and wallow in the fear that it is it? There will never be another robin singing. There will never be another ripe tomato. No, we don't. Why is that? We know that after winter, spring will return, followed by the bounty of summer. It is so in your life. At any given time, there are unlimited possibilities for you and yours, many different paths to take, many different options available. Do not get bogged down into thinking in a linear fashion. Open your eyes and your heart and feel the power your free will and choice brings to you. Make your life what it is meant to be. For every experience you have in your lifetime has the potential to be a teaching tool. By remembering and embracing this idea, the situations you encounter become less fraught with unneeded emotion and drama. By not attaching labels or expectations to people and situations, you allow the pure divine energy to flow unimpeded. While you may have little control over what happens to you at times, you always have control over how you react. Do you react on impulse, strike out at others when you feel hurt? Do you crawl into your safe place when the world seems mean and hurtful? Face this challenge in your life head on. Be thankful for the opportunity to experience whatever it is that's happening. Set yourself a goal of learning from every situation in your life. Find that silver lining. So, yeah, that is all I have for pile 2, looking into the month of October. So, sending lots of love and healing to everybody in this pile. And yeah, you know exactly what it is that's best for you and how to protect yourself moving forward. But if you would like a more personal reading, you can use the link in my description. But I hope you have a really great day. Pile 3, looking into the month of October. Ooh, so we have the moon and the Knight of Wands. So with the moon, at first I was thinking like maybe there's some illusions or you don't have a lot of clarity going on with something. But then we have the Knight of Wands and the Six of Cups. So this could be in regards to like feelings. Yeah, okay. Even with these, it's like someone's coming towards you and you think that they could be like a twin flame or a soulmate connection. You think that they could also feel that way, but you're not sure because they're hiding their true feelings and they're only showing you like passionate feelings, right? They're just showing you like their desires. They're coming from this passionate, it's like this almost unstable place. You're like, are they only in this for like the physical? Like, do they only see the way that I look? You deep down, like you could have this feeling or some sort of intuition that there's more going on here. They have this like deeper care for you. They recognize you as like, yeah, some sort of twin flame soulmate type of connection the same way that you do, but it's like you're not sure here because they're not giving you a whole lot. You could have a lot of emotion for them, but you're not sure if they have a lot of emotion for you. You don't know if this is going to go somewhere, if they're going to take it to the next level, if they're going to commit to you, if their feelings are like genuine. Um, they could just hide a lot here in regards to like their more genuine feelings. We also have the Queen of Cups, and she has a closed cup, but she's staring right at it. So that's all she's focused on, but it's not open. She's not opening that up to express that or share that with other people around her. Even though she knows what's going on, she's connected to it, she knows what's in there, she's not letting anyone else in. So they could be so focused on the way they feel for you that they're not opening up to express that, to let you in on that, and they're not even realizing because they have such a tight grasp over the way that they feel. Um, and we also have the Ace of Wands. So there's just a lot of passion. That's kind of all you can see with this here is just like the extreme level of passion. It could get kind of like heated to where you have like fights or arguments and then it ends like really passionately. Um, but yeah, there's like a lot going on here, very deep emotions like on both sides, but it's like not a lot of clarity on both sides. You're not sure where they're going with this, how they really feel, why they are coming towards you. They're just not letting you in on everything that they feel. So we have the High Priestess. So it's like you may have to kind of follow your intuition in regards to the situation, or you may have to follow your intuition in order to bring balance here. It's like you have this underlying feeling that they feel the same way as you. They also see this as like a twin flame type of connection, but they just don't know how to open up and express it. So you may have to kind of like follow that or be the one to like lead in the situation and put yourself out there or be willing to risk it or be vulnerable. If you're coming from a more secure place than them in your life, or if you're more set up, stable, if you're like farther along, if you're more of an independent person, if you've like tackled more, especially, then you may have to be the one to like step up to put yourself out there and show. You may have to be the first one to like show your feelings before you'll see how the other person feels, or in order to get clarity in the situation or to create like the communication you would like to see, you may have to be just like lead with your emotion and be the one to put yourself out there and start some sort of communication in order to get the clarity that you need, because you're more grounded, you're more independent. It's like you've went through and dealt with more, and so you have a better idea of like how to lead the situation or start things off. So you may have to like be the one to step up and like put yourself out there or create a space of a situation to where there can be balance. So it's like you being the first one to like show yourself or reveal your feelings in some way, then triggers them to realize that it's safe to then be vulnerable or be more clear. It creates like a pathway or an opening for them to see that it's like safe for them to, yeah, really clearly express the way that they feel. Because it could be like very sensitive for them. Like sometimes whenever you meet someone who like triggers that type of like nostalgia or thinking like maybe we met in a past life, or maybe it's like the type of connections that you have with people whenever you're like a kid as an adult. And it's so trippy and weird. And it's whenever you're a kid, it's a lot easier to just like freely give yourself to that and like let that person just like become your best friend and create that tie because you haven't went through anything painful or difficult in life yet. So you haven't learned any sort of like unhealthy attachment styles yet. So you're so innocent and young and pure. And so it's like this energy of like, right, when you guys met, they may have wanted to give you that type of energy or that type of love, but then um, there's something deeper within them and like their shadow aspect that like triggers them to feel as though they have to hide that side or that part of themselves and only express or show you like their passions or like their attraction towards you. um yeah, things they would like to like do with you in a more intimate way rather than being vulnerable and knowing how to express their feelings that maybe hasn't went well for them in the past, or they just like don't know how to do that. They haven't connected with someone like this or felt this way about someone since they were young or since they were a kid, so it almost feels like kind of weird, or it goes against like the way that we're taught how to act as adults, um, for them to be like vulnerable to you. So it's like you're gonna have to be the one to like lead, or like if your intuition is confirming to you, or you're getting some sort of signs or synchronicities to tell you like, yes, I think they do feel the same way, or yeah, they see me as the same way. It's just they're scared to come forward and approach it, or they don't know how to. Then it's like you can look at the situation and know like, okay, well, I am maybe more independent than them, or there's something here to where you're maybe like more set up, or it's not going to cost you as much to put yourself out there in love, and so you have to be the one to like put yourself out there or initiate things, even if that feels backwards or that feels like it goes against like the traditional roles or values. Like say you're a girl and you've always felt like guys should be the one to approach you first or something. It's like you have to look at the situation realistically and realize, again, like I said, it's not going to cost you as much to put yourself out there in love or be vulnerable in love. Like you don't have as much um writing on the line like emotionally, as this other person. Maybe like they could have just went through a lot of like emotional baggage that like weighs them down, holds them back. So it's like you can feel or sense they do feel really deeply, or they do feel similarly to you, but it's like they just don't know how to come forward and create that conversation, whereas you have a little bit more of an understanding of how to approach these things. And so you can help be like a guide or a lead to teach them that it's safe to like open up in this way, or to be clear and upfront with others. This is an opportunity to help that clear a space for like healing and forgiveness. So I'm going to get some zodiac signs. So I have Libra, Ace of Air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Eight of Air, Jupiter in Gemini. So all air signs. Jupiter in Gemini. And two of Earth, Jupiter in Capricorn. So Jupiter showing up twice, which is interesting. So it's like a Sagittarius energy there too. The Earth energy is what's putting you in this limbo though, or this like back and forth where it's hard to make a choice, or it's hard to know which direction this is going to go in. This like uncertainty, not having the clarity, that's like the overactive Earth energy. So it's funny because like the air is showing up so much, but I think the Earth energy is what's faulting the situation or creating that stuck energy to where it's like difficult to move forward. So it's like needing to kind of cut through the messiness or the confusion and create that more like open space where it's easier to make a healthy choice in regards to the situation. So air energy coming into the situation could be, or it's like you both could be air signs, so you almost vibe off each other in like weird ways. Yeah, we have Libra and Gemini coming through specifically, but Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, all air signs. And then Capricorn, Jupiter, like Jupiter could rule you or the other person's chart, or it could be like both of your chart rulers. It's like you have a lot of similarities. So that could almost cloud or confuse you in your judgment and being able to see the ways where you're also very different, or you've had very different like experiences or things that you've went through. Like in some ways you're really similar, and then in some ways you've had totally different journeys up to this point. So it's like in some ways you're not coming from the same like setup in life, if you will. So it's like in some ways it's like you're the same person, and then in some ways it's kind of hard to see and relate to each other. So opening up for clarity and conversation could be really healing, to know the direction that this is going in. I feel like this is more of like a romantic partnership in this pile. Nourish the soul, priorities. Nourish all areas that value to prevent them from perishing from lack of attention. At times, you can get hyper focused on one thing, then the rest of your life feels neglected. Fences and flowers. Boundaries. Create a protective environment that serves as a respectful space filled with positive energy. Choose only those that honor your clear boundaries. To share your space physically and mentally is needed. So it's like, even though you're gonna really have to be the one to like put yourself out there or start some sort of communication here, it's like, yeah, spirit is saying not to do this to a fault, or it's like, even though you're having to do this, it's like through this process of clearly communicating, be sure to set those healthy boundaries, so then it doesn't end up being a place where you're giving more constantly than the other person, or you're constantly having to initiate things. It's like going about it in such a way that it's like kind of puts the ball in their court, or like initiates that opening for clarity, but then you're not like having to constantly give back more to the other person, because then that's not fair. But I did hear like specifically, it's not going to cost you as much to like put yourself out there in love. um, but then that doesn't mean that you deserve to be taken advantage of. um, so yeah, it's like you can find the best way to navigate and communicate through the situation to where they understand then the ball is in their court, and you're not going to always be the one to initiate things or to create some sort of clarity. Like they have to also, yeah, put an effort. Okay, we'll just take these two. We have journey. So with journey, we have begin, and then we also have valley and lake, which is keep going and be still. So that's kind of conflicting. Um, yeah, with the journey card, it's like the advice is to just kind of put yourself out there in some way and start, right? Um, I feel like it's an energy of like, keep going, but make sure to take frequent breaks to kind of stop and give back to yourself and check in with spirit. Through those periods of stillness is where we get the answers, the clarity, and the confirmation of like how to proceed and how to continue forward after we've began. So it's like balancing both. So there's more of the like justice energy of just like creating a balance here, putting yourself out there while having boundaries. It's also a conflicting idea. So that's, you're kind of figuring out that discernment for yourself through a lot of this kind of conflicting energy that you're working with. Grounding and burden. As humans, our bodies are of the earth. It's a natural inclination when we experience uncomfortable emotions or energy to ground it out, much in the way we ground. A ground wire works with electrical current. However, with so much in our modern lives that causes us to be disconnected from Creator, we tend to gravitate to world's false grounding. Overeating, smoking, drinking, and recreational drugs are common ways to try to ground. These items are of the earth, but they are not the earth. This is not a true grounding, and as such, it cannot sustain. It doesn't last. What ends up happening is that, as with most experiences, these are false. We need more and more to achieve the same result. To truly ground and connect to both the earth and Creator, practice consciously connecting your energy to the earth. You should not be getting your energy outside of yourself, but directly from the divine. This is achieved through meditation, energy work, and mindfulness. Find a way that works for you and practice it. By drawing this card, you're being asked to look at areas in your life where you may employ false grounding as a coping mechanism. So I was also noticing this one underneath it. So I'm going to read that too. Every experience you have in your lifetime has the potential to be a teaching tool. By remembering and embracing this idea, the situations you encounter become less fraught with unneeded emotions and drama. By not attaching labels or expectations to people and situations, you allow the pure divine energy to flow unimpeded. While you may have little control over what happens to you at times, you always have control over how you react. Do you react on an impulse, strike out at others when you feel hurt? Do you crawl into your safe place when the world seems mean and hurtful? Face this challenge in your life head on. Be thankful for the opportunity to experience whatever it is that's happening. Set yourself a goal of learning from every situation in your life. Find that silver lining. Many times we take on the stress of those we love and care for. We see it as the ultimate sacrifice. We take on others' burdens to save them the trouble or heartache. Ironically, the way energy in the universe works make this a very counterproductive way of operating. When we take on the burdens of others, we deny them the ability to learn and grow from their own lessons. We also interfere with divine planning and timing. Never one to be thwarted, any lessons circumvented will absolutely reappear, sometimes with much more force than what was originally intended. Ask yourself if you or another is taking on troubles and lessons not belonging to them out of a need to be needed. This stems from the fear that you or they are fundamentally not enough. This is not true. You are created perfect. Your fears and doubts keep you separated from this truth. This is the separation one can feel from Creator. Once you accept and believe you are perfect and worthy, the tendency to make yourself invaluable to others through your help and assistance will go away. Your relationships can be based on truth and not manipulation. So I feel like this is Spirit saying, it's like you want to approach the situation in a way that opens up honesty, communication, clarity, in a way that like almost awakens the other person to realize they can empower themselves and go within themselves to start to make healthier choices and decisions, or like learn how to connect with others in a healthier way, but not in such a way that you're like taking on that burden for them. Yeah, it's kind of figuring out the best way to navigate that for you. So if you'd like a more personal reading, you can click the link in my description. If you've watched this far into the reading, I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you have a really great day.